All right, we're live, Corey. Um, hey, welcome everybody. This is the first episode of the Bend in the River podcast. Corey and I, you've seen us around before. It's been a few years, but we're back and um, looking forward to talking over some Bears stuff this afternoon, Iowa stuff. Um, Kind of what we're looking at is we're going to keep this fairly local on a lot of stuff, but then also if something happens, if Shohei Ohtani hits 3 home runs again and strikes out 10, we'll talk about that too. So, but looking forward to talking a lot of Quad City stuff, a lot of Iowa stuff, a lot of Bears stuff, a lot of Hawkeye stuff. But we'll just start. Anything you got to add to that, Corey?
No, I mean, to me, it's just kind of this is going to be more of a free flowing podcast.
Yeah.
We'll have some things that we're going to be doing
Yep.
that kind of interest us on how we do certain things, kind of the subjects we bring up, which is gambling, which I myself personally love to lose. I'm on a great losing streak for that. So,
I've
yeah,
lost today.
you could just definitely take my advice on gambling. Um, different things. I mean, yeah, it'll have a local spin on it. We'll talk some local stuff. But we'll talk about anything really.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
kind of what comes to our mind. Obviously, what we're recording these on Sundays. We're Bears fans. Yes, Bears are going to be the topic, win or lose. That's pretty much going to be our starting point
Yep.
for football season.
Yep. So the Bears game just ended, and I don't know what your thoughts were, but I thought it was a hard to watch game. It was no flow to it. Nothing was good. The defense played good, but then even they gave up some stuff at a certain point. People got injured. It was a hard to watch game
Yeah, I would say
from
more from
almost
the
every
offense
aspect.
side. Yeah, I would say from the offensive side, it was frustrating. You know, uh, it was hard for me to watch as much as I really enjoy him, and he's going to be a quarterback for the Bears a long time. He had a rough game in my eyes today. And
Oh, in
yeah, a
the
lot
middle
of
of
it
this,
was
just FYI, Corey texted me in the middle of this and said Spencer Rattler's better than Caleb Williams.
I did. Now, as you guys will start watching these podcasts, I'm very emotional about my Chicago Bears. So everybody sucks, but then plays later, everybody's the greatest in the history of pro football. So yes, I'm very bipolar in that. I'll admit it. I have problems with that, anger, all my teams. But yeah, I look, Caleb, it was frustrating. Like I expect Caleb to be 250, 2 touchdowns every day. And yeah,
Well, and
that's
he
an
lost that lost
expectation.
me. I had him at 2 touchdowns, one to Roma Dunze, and in my parlay, and he didn't get to even close to any of that.
Yeah. Well,
I was doubting whether I should do it because I knew the weather was supposed to be bad up there, which the weather looked like was not a factor at all. Um, so I, it was disconcerting. I looked at it and didn't think as much it was bad on Caleb, 100% of it. I thought the line had a problem blocking too. I thought he missed a couple things, but I thought he was under duress quick a few times, and I thought he did a good job just to get the hell out of there.
yeah, the
Um,
offensive line had a bad day, and that was part of Caleb's issues today. But the running game was really good,
yeah,
and DeAndre Swift, another, I believe, 100-yard game for him,
yep.
like 124, 6.5 yards per carry. And then my guy that everybody at the beginning of the year was like, oh yeah, he's bad, but Kyle Monangai, who I think is going to be a decent running back.
I
He's
think
not
he's going
going
to
to
be
be
a
a
decent
stud,
running back.
but he is going to be a very complimentary back. He had 81 yards today, and he was
I
six
didn't
and a
know he had
half
that many.
yards or 6.2 yards per carry. So, and a touchdown. So our running backs were the star of the show. Uh, it's easy to want Caleb to be the star of the show all the time. Obviously, as Bears fans, we long suffering QB room, but we got to be patient, and he'll be just fine. But I know.
That's got to be
I'm
hard for
pretty.
you to say.
It is. It
That's
is.
got to be
But
hard for you to say.
hey, look at Josh Allen, right? Everybody wanted him out, year two, get rid of him. And he's arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best, with he's a little struggling this year. But again, Caleb will get there, but during game day and after games, especially after losses, you're going to hear me on here say how trash he is and I want him gone. And I hope the Bears use the number one pick on a new quarterback. And then the next week I'll say, he's the best quarterback ever.
Yeah,
And,
and
why are people complaining?
it's not even week to week. It's literally quarter to quarter.
It is. I'm an emotional Bears fan. I've always
Yeah,
been
it's
that way.
quarter to quarter.
The house clears
It's
out. When it's
yeah, it's
game
probably
day,
smart.
yes, the house
Keep the
leaves. They're
dogs
gone.
away. Yeah, keep
Yes,
everybody. No
the
dogs in the
dogs
house.
will look
Christy's
at
got to
me
leave.
like, yeah, they're gone. I mean, they're gone right now. They know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's the smart
I don't
move by
blame
the
them.
dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they don't
I
know
think
what's
in
going
quarter
on.
one of game one, you were calling for Tyson Bagent.
I never, you know what? I think only week one, maybe week two, I called for Tyson Bagent. But since then,
Oh
I
no,
haven't. Since then,
I'm
I
not getting after
haven't. This
pass
week,
war. No,
today I
you couldn't
wasn't.
because he's put up a pretty good resume so far this year.
No, he's been great. Although, that's another thing. That's one thing I don't understand. I used to be a pro football focus guy. I'd look at their
Mm-hmm.
stats and go, okay,
You
yeah,
know
that
my
makes
thought on
sense.
that.
Well, I'm starting to turn on that because after last week's, I don't know if you saw last week's ranking, but they put Justin Fields ahead of Caleb Williams last week in quarterback rating. And I think Justin's had negative 10 yards or something like that in
Yeah.
passing. and
So so
I don't
so
know
two
what their
things.
grading system is.
So two things. One, I've always been down on Pro Football Focus. I've never been a
You
fan of
have.
what they do because I don't. I'm with you. I don't understand. I mean, they had. I remember back in Roquan Smith days, they had him as like the 50th best linebacker, and he's leading the league in tackles. It's like, how is that possible? This is nonsense what they are putting out there. Two, your boy Justin Fields got benched today. I saw.
I didn't see that. I was concentrating on the Bears
Well,
game because I'm a true Bears fan, so everything gets blocked out.
this was
Some
after
of
the game.
us.
I saw it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was
No,
after
I
the
did
game.
not see. I did not see that. Um,
Yeah, he got benched.
it's
Tyrod
not
Taylor
shocking.
came in. No, he's not a good quarterback.
No, Tyrod Taylor's a better quarterback than Justin Fields.
He should go the way of Terrell Pryor. Put him at wide receiver. Do something with him. Make us go Taysom Hill thing for him. But he's
I
not a
could see
quarterback.
that. I could see the Taysom Hill thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just bad, and which I'm kind of glad everybody's starting to see it. If you're on Twitter and you are a Bears fan and you follow Twitter the last few years, there were so many Justin Field hypers out
Oh,
there.
it was
It's just is
insane
ridiculous. Yeah.
how loyal people were to him. I didn't get
Yeah.
it at all.
I
I
didn't
didn't understand
understand
it
it.
at all.
No, no. I mean, he's a dynamic athlete. He's not a good quarterback. I
No,
mean, that's the
he doesn't process it very quick at all, and which is still one of the things people complain about with Williams is he processing it. I'm one today. I didn't think it was hard to tell because I thought that the he was getting pressure quick a lot, which is disappointing to me because I thought that they've kind of fixed that. I thought this was by far the worst pass bot blocking game that the line had in a few weeks.
I think it was almost like they played down a little bit
That could have
today.
been.
You came off of a big win in Washington, Monday night game, come back, you're playing the Saints. The Saints are what, 1-4, 1-5 coming,
Yeah, they're
whatever the
trash.
record
They're
was. They're
trash.
bad. And yeah, you just kind of played down a little bit. And I kind of think maybe too with Caleb is, that not so friendly history between him and Spencer Rattler too. I
Spencer
think
Rattler.
so I think Caleb probably put a little too much on himself as well,
Possibly.
but the offensive line did not pass protect well. They did really good run blocking, though. I
Yep.
mean, the Bears rushed
So
really well.
so we know that going into the break, Ben Johnson was lamenting the fact that the run game was pretty much trash, and it sounds like that's been a major point of emphasis. So the question is, Jane Daniel just threw a touchdown pass, by the way. Uh, are they concentrating so much on the run game that it's now affecting the pass game? Because they got better real fast
Mm.
in the run game, real
Well,
fast.
I don't know. I think it worked out. I think it was okay last week against Washington. I think he outplayed Jaden Daniels, even though everybody says Jaden Daniels outplayed him and threw an interception and fumbled and
Yeah,
shotgun
and from the ball.
you
I
know,
don't know how
and
you can
yeah,
outplay somebody doing that. Drake
yeah,
May,
I don't get
21
it.
for 23 today.
What's that?
Drake May was 21 for 23 today.
Yeah. Yeah. And who I said was the best quarterback in that draft class. So,
You did, you did. But
right again. But I'm happy
well,
with
no,
Caleb.
you hedged your bets the closer you got to the draft and said, well, now you think you like Caleb Williams.
Because I knew the Bears were going to draft him. So I'm a team player.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Once you come to
Um,
look, once you this, it all comes down to everything else. I am pro football first before any. I love NFL over college over anything. So once you come to the Bears, you're the best player at that position. So at that point, I knew they were going to get Caleb. And as a Hawkeye fan, if you're not on the Bears and you're on another team, you're dead to me until you retire or you come
yeah,
play
I
for the
mean,
Bears.
what's a hawk
So
always a hawk,
it doesn't
unless you play
change
for the
you're a
Packers.
Hawk. You're just no
Unless you play for
longer
the Packers.
you're just no longer in my, you know,
I will root for him.
celebratory
Yeah, I
whatever. I
root for
will
him.
not root for you. No,
I'm a good guy. I root for him.
I'm not. I'm not. You're gone. You're dead to me. You're not on the
um,
Bears. Bye.
so who do the Bears have next week?
The
Oh, it's just
Ravens.
Ravens. So
They get
you start
everybody
looking at their
back
four
too.
and two. Well, that's the question is will Lamar Jackson be back? Is it a home game or away game?
They say he'll be back. It's a away game. This could be a L. This could be a win though.
Yeah.
Ravens defense
But you want
hasn't
them
been
to at
very
least
good either.
but you want them to at least represent well and look like a team that can compete with them. Um, and if you lose, then you lose. But you don't want them to get. You don't want a Detroit game. That would be the worst case scenario, because then after that, then you've got I don't know which order, but you got New York and the Giants, and who's the is it just the Giants? Before Giants and Minnesota again?
Yeah, you got yeah, here, let me pull it up here.
Because I know that they were looking at a possible 4 game win streak or 4 or 5 game win streak.
I mean, oh, you got the Bengals in there.
Yeah, the Bengals. That's
But
the
they
one.
got Joe Flacco.
Jolton Joe.
Look, I mean, coming up, they've got the Ravens, the Bengals, the Giants, the Vikings, the uh, Steelers. So
Steelers
the
got
month of
where's that at?
November, that's at home.
I got old man
So,
Rogers coming back. I'd love
yep.
nothing more to send him on his way with a L.
I mean, the schedule kind of sets up for them, and then but then it gets a little tough again. They got the Eagles, the Packers, the Browns, the Packers, the Niners, and then the Lions.
Which
So this is their stretch. This is the stretch they need to take advantage of.
so if you win, so next week becomes a big week because if you win next week, you've now what 4 in a row,
5 in
and
a row next
if
week if you win
if
next
you
week.
win next week, you go 5 in a row. Then with the Bengals and Giants right afterward, who you're
Right.
probably gonna be favored in both of those games.
Yeah, because the Bengals is on the road, but it's still the Bengals.
Yeah.
They don't have Joe Burrow.
Nope.
Joe Flacco, yeah, I mean, he's good quarterback, competent quarterback, but it's not Joe Flacco. The Giants, they got my guy on their Scattaboo, but they should win that game. And a game I think the Bears should be able to beat the Vikings. They should have beat the Vikings in week 1. They just blew it. They just
Yep.
yeah,
That's
but
at
again, it's
Minnesota
the
though,
first
right?
yeah, it's at Minnesota. Um, but I still think, it's a division game. I don't look at home road with division games as much. I don't harp on it as much because I think any division team, home or away, can win the game. So um, the Ravens one scares me
Yeah, that's the
because
big
it's
one.
on the road, but it's still, it's a noon game. I like noon games.
Yeah, I think I had 4 or 5 in a row if I remember correctly seeing.
Yeah, one, two, yeah, including today. One, two, three, four, five, six in a row, and then they play the Eagles on Black Friday at two
Yeah, that'll be a
o'clock.
big one. That'll be a go. That one
So
will go right into the Island game.
that's that's in Philadelphia. So they're probably gonna they're
Those
gonna
those
lose that one.
crazy freaking lunatics there.
Yeah,
All right. So
they'll
one of the
lose that
things we
one.
had talked about doing is a segment when we are talking about the Bears. Everybody's kind of heard Ben Johnson in the locker room go through his good, better, best speech. So we wanted every week during a Bears game kind of come up with our own good, better, best. I'll go first if you want me to, Corey.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I've got my good, better, best. For my good, I've got Jake Moody, kicker. Again, 4 for 4 field goals. He does a good job on kickoffs. Pretty confident. They even say they don't, but the Bears may have a kicker controversy at some point in time. Um, my better, Tremaine Edmonds, who could end up being Defensive Player of the Week in the NFC, by the way. 9 tackles, 1 sack, 1 interception. So he has come back and played, he's played really well. My best, DeAndre Swift, 19 carries, 124 yards, 6.5 yards per carry, 1 catch, 14 yards. And really, you could have just made it the whole running game and put Monange up there too. But I thought DeAndre Swift for the second week in a row looked quick, um, does well in pretty much all phases. Picks up the blocking and picks up the blitz every once in a while. Gets out into the passing the routes, but I think he's playing really well right now.
All right. Well, my good. I've got two goods. So, I'm going to throw a
Okay,
good curveball here. I got two goods, one on defense and one on offense. So my goods are actually Montez Sweat, a guy that has not shown up for anything. And today he set the tone with the defense. Yeah, he had only 4 tackles, but had a lot of
for
pressures.
defensive end though,
Yeah, he had a sack,
strip sack.
caused a fumble, and that set the tone for the defense that day. So he is my good on the defensive side. Kyle Monangai is part of that now as well. He's
Yep,
my good. Again, we had touched upon it earlier. 81 yards rushing, 6.2 yards per carry, and a touchdown. Which is it his first touchdown of the
it's
year?
his first touchdown. That was his
Yeah.
first touchdown.
So
First career touchdown.
um, yeah, so he's my good. And yes, my best or my better was Tremaine Edmonds. Um, a sack, an interception, 6 tackles, 3 assists. I mean, the guy was all over the place. Dennis Allen is finally using him the way he should be used. I don't think he fit well in Eberflus's defense.
Yeah,
Um, Still a young guy. I mean, very young
yeah,
guy.
very young.
So good. And
And he's a good
again,
leader, from my understanding.
he is. He is. I think the Bears got, with especially with TJ Edwards back, uh, good linebacker core, especially with Sewell when he comes back from his concussion, he adds to it.
Yep.
And then my best is DeAndre Swift. 19 carries, 124 yards, 6.5 yards per carry, 1 touchdown. Um, you could probably, I he's the best alone. I mean, there were several good ones out there. We lost a couple cornerbacks um today to
Yeah,
injury.
that's a problem.
Um, but
That's a
Byard
problem.
Byard held it down pretty good too. So he
Yep.
had a good one. I could probably put him in the good category, but My best today is DeAndre Swift, second game in a row where he's really turned it on for the Bears and in a running game that looked horrible before the bye week. So that's my
So
good, better, best.
so then translating some of that over to yesterday, you know who wouldn't be my best for the Iowa game is Kirk Ferentz and the kicker. Holy cow! I know Ferentz loves him, but he misses he misses a lot of kicks, a lot of kicks. You can't keep throwing him out there and thinking that he's gonna make. It's not like somebody's going out there and kicking 14 for 15. He's gonna be 10 for 15.
Right. Well, I think Kurt beat himself up so bad,
Oh yeah,
on his own on that decision, and that wasn't a Kirk decision. I
that
think he
was
just got
not
a
a very.
little bit greedy, and sometimes I think, I mentioned this yesterday, players like the Bears, I think, started to play down a little bit to their competition today, especially the offensive line. I think Kirk, probably the first time I could ever think, might have coached down a little bit. I think I th- and it just wasn't Kirk like. And you know
No,
what? He beat himself up over it. I'm over it. They won. Bad call. Sure,
because
I think he could have hit it if he got a clean kick, but
head kick is so
it just
low.
wasn't it was. It just
And maybe it's one of those things where he's trying to get him some film out there he's got the leg. He's got the strongest leg we've probably ever seen for an Iowa kicker. He's just definitely not the most accurate Iowa kicker we've ever seen. So yeah, I think that's. Did I lose you, Corey? Let's see if Corey comes back to us. Technology sometimes down in the deep West End bothers him. We lost you.
yeah. Um
Um,
yeah, I don't know what happened there.
yeah,
But
so
yeah.
I think he's got the strongest leg. He's definitely not the most accurate kicker Iowa's ever had. So because I was sitting there with a group of people watching the game, and I'm like, until then, I'm like, this is like a Kirk Ferentz G spot game. I mean, it was defense. They threw an interception early, so that gave them the excuse to never have to throw the ball ever again in the history of football. You knew after that interception happened early, he wasn't throwing the ball. They were gonna put the ball in the freezer, and they were running the ball as much as they could. So it was defense, good kicker. The punter, Dakin, came through good. The running backs ran very good yesterday. I would have liked to see McNeil get the ball a little bit more. Um, but then I think they, I think they threw the ball for like 60 yards in the first half, which is probably too much for Kirk. And I don't even think they threw the ball for 15 yards in the second half, hardly.
Yeah.
And they still
Yeah.
won the game, so it was perfect for parents to go see. Why would we ever throw the ball? We can beat teams, and we don't have to throw the ball. We can play good defense. We can play good special teams, and we'll run the ball.
Well, look, I mean, for me, Moulton, he's the stud.
Yeah,
I understand the McNeil hype. He's a true freshman, isn't he? Yeah.
I didn't need him to take more carries than Moulton or even Williams. I think I'd like to see him have more than two.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Xavier Williams a lot, but I'm a Moulton guy, so let's just ride him out. And then you got Gronowski, who is I don't know. I mean,
Throw
he's
some
all
ducks out
right.
there.
Yeah,
But
he's not a
he had
good
9 rushes for 130 yards.
right. He's a good running back.
Yeah, yeah, he's Lamar
That's the
Jackson
best.
when Lamar Jackson went into the NFL.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He
Running
could throw the
wise, yeah.
ball or run the
I
ball,
just
but
I
touchdown Cowboys.
I just think that yeah. I just as a throwing quarterback, no, he's not good. But
He's not
hey,
good.
you know what? He can run the football. I don't care. Whatever. I
But
mean,
I've I've always said that at a certain point, you don't blame the quarterback. You blame the system. And I believe you could bring Tom Brady in here and he would struggle in the system because they are going to want to run the ball 90, not 90% of the time. They're going to want to run the ball a lot, more than everybody else does. And let's be honest, you don't have the tight ends you had a few years ago that are, and they're going to be in there. There's no Laporta. There's no Hawkinson. There's no Kittle on the roster right now. Even if they are, they're a freshman, then that aren't getting a lot of playing time. And we don't have any wide receivers that are striking fear in the other team. So you don't have a lot to work with. Um, and when you put in there, you want to run the ball all the time, you don't have great receivers. That's what you're going to get.
yeah. Well, he's 10 of 16 for 68 yards and an interception. I
Yeah.
mean, let's
10
be a little
completions,
better.
68 yards is terrible.
Yeah, let's be a little bit better in that. Now I know that he's a victim to some of these receivers dropping the ball. He's had some throws where the receivers are you're just kind of like, come on, you know, make these catches. But hey, 130 yards, 14 and a almost 14 and a half yards per carry. Of course, he had that 90-yard run. So I, a win's a win. I'm going to take a win. You know, I'm not gonna. Gronowski's getting his money. This is his only
Yep.
year. You know, win as many games as you can, however you win it, Kirk Ferentz style,
Just
whatever it
win.
is. Just
Yeah,
win.
just win. Just
You
win.
know,
The
so
problem is you've got the number 47 recruiting class in the country for next year right now. And one, they're recruiting against Ferentz's age. Is he going to be there? There's no way he's going to be there in 4
yeah,
years, blah, 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 blah. And they're just not getting skilled. They're not getting the star skill position guys. They're just
right.
not.
Yeah.
And um, if you and I have both been diehard Iowa guys our entire life. If I had a son who was a star wide receiver and he had aspirations to go into the NFL, unless they came up with some ridiculous NIL offer, I don't know how you can send him to Iowa.
Well, look at Casper's kid, right?
Yeah, who
You
sucks at
know,
Oregon, by the way. But
he does, but coming out of high school, I mean,
yeah,
he's
he was a
one of
highly
the
thought of
top.
prospect.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's this is Iowa football. What frustrates me with Iowa football is their defense is so good, so
Yep.
ridiculously good, and they just come up short with these college football playoffs, and it's just frustrating because you're almost there. And heck, even yeah, people like Max Crosby the other day, just
Yeah,
begging
they're a
Iowa,
national joke
just
on offense.
yeah, just
Well,
begging Iowa to get a quarterback because they're everybody loves the defense, which rightfully
so
they should because Phil Parker has put together one of the best college defensive runs,
in the history of football,
consistently.
history of
Yeah,
college football,
right.
and doing it with guys who weren't the most highly recruited guys, other than
Yeah,
Wonka, who, by the way, Xavier Wonka's making himself some money this year. He's going to get
he
drafted.
is. Oh, he will. I think
He
he's a
went,
fourth rounder. I think he's a fourth rounder.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's making himself some money. He's hitting. He's had more hard hits this year, and made himself more a part of the game than he did all the other 3 years combined. I feel like.
Hmm.
I mean, he's just knocking people out.
Yeah, I think he'll be fourth. He could work his way to the third round, um, maybe middle third round the rest of the year if he continues to play the way he's been, especially the way he played yesterday.
So
Um,
so, but here's the other thing with him is his production is picking up. Uh, so if they take away that, if people don't ask about the first 3 years, you just go off this year, it's a big thing. But then he's going to test phenomenally at the combine.
well, that's all he needs to do. I mean, he's on a defense that top defenses in the country. Iowa produces just as many NFL players as these Alabamas and Georgias out there nowadays. they're going to look at him and they're going to say, "Oh, he's a Kirk Ferentz, Phil Parker
Yep.
guy. How does he test in the combine? Test good in the combine. All right, he's going to be a third round guy,
What
or a
was
fourth rounder."
I think we saw it at on Hard Knocks when Higgins was told by the Ravens that he made the team, and I think the GM literally said, "I love having Hawkeyes." So, and
Yeah,
I think that's probably, other than with the Bears, I think that's probably what a lot of people think, because they're going to come in, they're going to be ready to play, and they're not going to cause problems.
dude. If I'm the Bears, I look at that Wheatley guy from Penn State because the Bears are going to be a
Yeah,
little thin, start to get thin at safety. He's a stud out there.
yeah.
He was
Well,
their
I'll tell you
leading
who surprised
tackler
me,
and had an interception.
and their running back was pretty good too.
Yeah,
Yeah, their running
yeah.
back was good. Not to take anything away from anybody else, but the other thing was, and we talked about it before the season, that this is probably the most athletic group of safeties Iowa's ever had, or at least in a long time. And Entringer also had 11 tackles yesterday, so those two are flying around the ball.
One guy that
So then you
frustrates me
start,
though is Lutmer. Lutmer is
yeah.
hot or cold. Like he'll give up a big play or a stupid penalty, and then he'll make a great play.
Well, and I
He
think
frustrates me the most.
and yeah, he'll do that. And he's kind of like you with the Bears. He can be quarter to quarter, play to play.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, he
yeah,
because was it Indiana that he was just getting picked on horribly,
yeah,
and then he made
yeah,
a couple big plays later in the game.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but then you start looking at the Iowa schedule and what they did. If their name wasn't Iowa, if they were um, somebody else, if they were Nebraska, uh, Iowa would be ranked, even though they haven't really beat anybody yet. But you look at their two losses, one of them was Iowa State, and let's be honest, Iowa State got lucky twice in that game. The wide receiver
Hmm.
fell down for Iowa, which allowed Iowa State to get an interception. That was one, and that was their only touchdown they'd scored up to that point, up to the very end. Two, Iowa had Iowa State on a third and long on their last drive, and a ball hits off a helmet and just falls in that idiot tight end's hands, and and, that is the precipice for them moving down the field. Twice they got lucky in that game for them to beat Iowa. Uh, then you go to Indiana. I know what everybody thinks of Gronowski. I personally think had he not gotten injured in the fourth quarter, uh, Iowa beats Indiana. I think that last drive, they threw the ball a couple times late there because Hank Brown is not a mobile quarterback, and I think as we saw yesterday, I think they would have put the ball in Gronowski's hands and he would have got a first down a couple times. So
Well, it
I
took away
think,
the threat of the quarterback scrambling. I
yeah,
mean,
yep, that
Hank's your classic pocket passer.
which Hank is not the second string quarterback anymore. I don't believe.
No,
I mean, Heklinski has taken that role,
yep.
which is probably next year we're going to see we're going to see a 5'11" Iowa quarterback. Uh, but then you look at it. I saw where they got Minnesota this week. It's a 2:30 kickoff, the main CBS game. So Minnesota's got same exact record as Iowa, same exact record as Iowa. And I was up in Iowa City over Friday night and watched some of their game against Nebraska. They manhandled Nebraska pretty easily.
Yeah,
So this could be a tough game. Um, then you got an off week, and then the big game, you got Oregon coming to town. If you
yeah.
beat Minnesota, that's going to be a huge game nationally, a huge game. I don't think they can beat Oregon, but if you do, you put yourself back in conversations for getting into the tournament, into the playoff.
If Iowa beats Minnesota and Oregon, they are they could be tournament bound at that point. But
I don't think they are, only because I think they're going to get their ass
at
kicked
that
at
point,
USC.
at that point of
Yes,
the season,
the resume
my
says it.
my butt was you're going to
Oh,
USC the next week,
yeah,
and
that's a horror show for Iowa teams. An
yes,
absolute horror show. It's
Yep.
terrible. I don't know why it's always so bad, but it's just an absolute shit show. Going out to the West Coast, and it's not even a matter of do they play a good game and they just lose. I mean, look what happened at UCLA last year, and UCLA was trash.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the only path
so
for Iowa to get to the playoffs is winning out.
yeah,
I think
one
that's
hundred
it.
percent.
They lose one of
Yeah,
those games, they're done. But
yeah, but because they don't
playoff
have a bad
wise,
loss.
no,
They don't have a bad loss.
no.
You know who had a
You're
lot of
Iowa State and Indiana.
you know who had a lot of bad losses? Fran freaking McCaffrey. A lot of bad losses. I don't know about you. That's got to be a late hit.
He wore out his welcome
I
for me.
What's that?
He
Oh,
wore out his
100%.
welcome for me.
I think he was a good guy. It seemed like
Yep.
a caring individual. I think that he cared for his players. I think
Yep.
getting Iowa somewhat relevant was as good as he could do from an X's and O standpoint.
Yeah.
I think he was overmatched from an X's and O standpoint. I think we looked at it a few years ago, and if somebody could go back and look, I think you would see that in the final 2 minutes of a game, when a lead switched hands one way or the other, uh, Iowa was significantly under 500 in the Fran McCaffrey era.
Well, Iowa was bad at defense and bad at calling timeouts at the end of games.
Oh my gosh! Not even just at the end of games. It could be in the first half. The team's on a 17-0 run. Hey, how
Yeah.
about you call a timeout?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we talked about this the other day about the NBA and defense. Man, basketball, you got to have some defense. Like, you have to play good defense. And Fran just didn't have those teams. His philosophy, which was, I mean, better than Licklider. Anything's better than
Yeah.
Licklider, but I mean, run them out of the stadium. But you couldn't
Yep.
stop anybody. So your
You
goal
gotta.
was
Yeah.
to win 98 to 92. You
Yep.
know,
And the other
um,
teams were just sometimes had better athletes that could score better.
right.
But the worst part about that though, Corey, was not. I understand that if you're going to play that up tempo and you're going to give some stuff up on a break and this that and the other thing, but they get in half court offense or defense, and there'd be times where they allowed 4 or 5 baskets at the rim in a row. They couldn't communicate on simple pick and rolls. There was no help side defense. They just didn't know the fundamentals of playing defense. At least that's the way it appeared at times, and that was the frustrating part to me, which is going to be gone. It's going to be absolutely gone. I think these guys are going to play defense.
Oh yeah, I mean, you saw it at Drake. You saw what he did at Drake. He's more balanced, and that's what you need. You need balance. Um, I always look at one of my favorite coaches, but he has this flaw of playing you until you're uh, worn out on death's bed towards the end of the game, and that's he coached the Bulls. He was defensive guy for the Celtics. Now he's just got fired from the
Thibodeau?
Knicks.
Yep.
Yes, I like Thibodeau.
Tibbs. I did too.
You know,
The people played hard for him.
when he was with the Celtics under Doc Rivers, Celtics had one of the best defensive teams. They won a championship. Um, those, uh, there's so many. I don't know how many, Mike. Gosh, we could cover the whole United Center with all the Celtic banners. I don't know. There's so
they,
many. I
still,
can't
they
count.
still aren't as good as the Bulls' best team.
I mean, I still can't count. But
Well, we know that.
anyways, but but he
We've
plays
had
his
those tax discussions.
he plays his players to the death. So I would. You just need a guy that has balance, and I think McCollum is going to have that, and we'll see. And I hadn't followed too much of their scrimmage, but just kind of listening to you, it sounds like they got manhandled by St. Louis.
Yes and no. Um, it sounds like they lost by like 20, but they didn't play just 40 minutes. It sounds like they played 60 minutes. At a certain point, during the half, like at about the halfway point, it sounds like when Iowa was playing most of their starters, and they didn't play. I think that the big guy from Dre Maniwamu, whatever, however you pronounce his name, uh, Cam. We'll just call him Cam.
There you
I
go.
don't think he played in that. But it sounds like Iowa was up two about midway through that. Then Iowa started doing a lot more substituting. Do you remember watching the documentary The Dream Team on
Hmm.
NBA TV that's on like 17 times a week?
Yeah.
And the Dream Team played that college team, and Krzyzewski swears that they threw it, that Chuck Daly threw it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that. I don't think McCall threw it, but I don't think that from reading things like there was a whole lot of coaching going on. And it sounds like he's put different people out there. He didn't care who was who. I know his son is not a lick lighter thing situation, but he still probably isn't ready for prime time would be my guess. And he played like 12 or 13 minutes in the scrimmage. So I'm assuming the other Koch kid did as well. So you, I think that you can't take a lot from it from some of those standpoints. That being said, when they still talked about people playing and things like that, it didn't sound like it was great from any standpoint other than Hausen. It sounded like Hausen played well. Sturts didn't play well. The Spanish guy um, didn't play well. Sounds like he was just floating on the perimeter. Really didn't have any concept of what he was doing. Um, so it didn't. There was no review that made it sound like what, they're gonna be fine. They played played the starters half the time, and everything went great. They St. Louis beat up on their subs. I didn't see one review that said that. So yeah, I'm a little bit wary. Did you watch any of the things that was on that Facebook Live that they did last week?
No. No.
They did about 10 minutes that you could see, and I don't know who was doing it. I don't know if it was Iowa basketball, but I was sitting there watching it at work, and they did about 10 minutes. It's gonna be it's gonna be so different than Fran's offense, um, because it's relying on a lot of just back cuts. A lot of back cuts, a lot of drive and kick, things like that. That is just so different than what we were used to seeing. Um, but it also could be one of those things where you got to learn. I mean, it may take some time to learn.
Well, he's got enough Drake players. You'd think they would be
Yeah,
able to, run this offense, which I think helps him out. I don't know. I'm excited. I've always been a big fan of Hawkeye basketball ever since I can remember. So I'm looking forward to it and see what he brings. It's not like I was happy when they hired Fran, and the only time I was upset of a hire. I mean, Iowa very rarely hires people nowadays, but um, was Licklider. Licklider was
I'm
the
with you.
first one where I was like, uh, "Oh boy," kind of like Eberflus. Most of the time as a Bears fan, I'm Mr. Positive, right? Oh, this is going to be. But when they said Eberflus, and he
The
just
hell's an
got
Eberflus?
this random defensive coordinator out of Indianapolis who is going to be fired anyways. You're going to hire that guy. And then but I was fine with Nagy when they hired Nagy. I'm like, okay, offensive
Yep.
guy, chief system, let's go. And gosh, that 2018 team could have been a Super Bowl team. I think if you don't
They had
double
a
doink
quarterback.
that, I think if they don't double
Nah,
doink that, they win.
no.
Yep.
They might
Yep.
have won that game, but you still had Mitch Trubisky at quarterback.
I think they
Mitch
beat the
Trubisky is now
Rams.
doing Mitch Trubisky is now doing commercials about being the backup.
Yeah, but they would have had the Rams to face to go to the Super Bowl. They had already beaten the Rams during the regular season. I think they would have been just fine. That was a big time defense team right there.
Yeah,
So I think that could have been, but then they did what the Bears do and
yep. Had a
screw up,
like
and then
what they
they
used to call a
hire
Cubby
some
occurrence
idiot.
at a bear occurrence.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
so I know you're not as big on it, but we'll touch on it. I'll just touch on it for a second. The Iowa women's hoop team should be pretty good. They sold out the season already. They've got a bunch of players back. They got the two big girls down low who should be good. You got Addie Deal, a freshman from California. You know, me and my dad were talking about it a couple days ago. Is Iowa basketball, women's basketball, a blue blood? Would you consider them a blue blood? Do you
I'm
have to win a
sorry.
title to be considered a blue blood?
I'm sorry. I dozed off there. But yeah, I'm not a big. I never really followed women's basketball. Yeah, you got to
but
win
okay, so
titles. If you're going to be a blue blood, you got to win titles. Like
but
Nebraska's
I guess
still
I'm looking
considered
at
a
it.
blue blood in football because they won
I'm
titles.
looking at it.
Notre Dame.
I'm looking at it more right now from a recruiting standpoint, and Iowa is okay. So if we looked at it and said the football team or the men's basketball team got the top player in California 2 years in a row, got top 50 players, the top 50 center 2 years in a row,
Uh-huh.
and then they've got two other top 15 players that are looking at you in just this year, the 2026 class. You'd be going, everybody would go, what the hell is going on here? I mean, it's never happened, except for
Well,
maybe
shit.
wrestling.
I'm not saying that nobody that is fan of Iowa women's basketball shouldn't be excited about what could happen, but I don't think I mean that's a Caitlin Clark effect, and the fans showing up is
100%.
I think those two things. Caitlin brought the fans. The fans have still stuck around.
Yep.
You still have the Caitlin residuals. You still got the young fans that are showing up. Yeah, that's fine. You're getting all these great recruits. Awesome, great. Win titles now. I mean, I think for me to call you a blue blood, you got to win
I think
titles.
I think they're almost like like you can have pre-diabetes.
Yeah, right.
I think they're a
They're
pre. I think they're a pre-blue
yeah,
blood.
they could be. They're type 2 diabetes. They're not full blown diabetes, but
Yeah, they're like a pre-blue blood. I mean, you can't say that.
a potential.
Yeah, a
You
potential
know,
blue blood. Yeah, so
you're not
I'm looking forward to
UConn.
seeing
You're
them.
not.
No,
Come on. I mean,
no,
just
no. They're
win.
they're, they're but they are recruiting at a level that we've never seen for any of the main sports except for wrestling. Uh,
It's
but
look, Caitlin was good for him, and honestly, and just like anything else, luck played a part in Iowa getting Caitlin. I mean, she didn't want to be a Hawkeye right off the bat. Her goal was to go to UConn, right? So, and she comes to Iowa, and it just fits out. It just works out perfect. Works out for Caitlin. It works out for Iowa. She's a true Hawkeye. Uh, I mean, she's the ambassador of women's basketball,
yeah,
professional, amateur. Um, it is what it is. I mean, it's unfortunate that the WNBA, which is another thing I do not care about,
oh,
do
it's a
not
shit show.
watch. They're just a bunch of whiny women. I mean, you can't. Everything has to be social, social, social. Like this girl can play. You know,
Yeah,
if I hear the word privilege one more time, no, she's good. I don't care who it is. I mean, right now your best player is Asia Wilson, right? I would think, but but I look at it as that standpoint, like she's the best. But Caitlin right now is bringing the fans and bringing the people into your league.
yep.
Man, you better ride that. If you're a smart league,
You
you
should
better
absolutely
ride
ride it,
that.
and they are doing everything they can to not ride that.
Right.
They're
That it's like
trying to
they're
say
fighting
no, it's not
against
her.
it. I mean,
So
this
here
is your
here's the
opportunity to say this is an opportunity for Asia Wilson to be celebrated as one of the best women's basketball of all time. You'd be just
yeah.
looking at her. I don't know who, again, I don't follow the WNBA. I don't know if her team ended up winning. I knew she was in it. And, I've read some things on her and, but it's the same thing as what's her face in Chicago.
Yeah, Angel
You
Reese.
know, Angel Reese, she's not really that good, but she brings eyeballs to the league, right? So, but nobody questions her. Why doesn't anyone question her or check her in any capacity? Why does everybody have to check Caitlin? Like, why are you check?
Yeah,
Just ride it.
yeah.
Build your league.
So here's the other question. I mean, I had a discussion with somebody the other day. If Caitlin Clark had gone to UConn, would she be the Caitlin Clark she is right now?
I don't think she would be because she's like a phenomenon, and
Yeah.
she
And
was
Lisa Bluder
playing.
allowed her to be that phenomenon.
Yeah,
And her teammates
correct.
allowed her to be that phenomenon. When she went to UConn, would would she have been allowed to be that phenomenon?
She's just another UConn player, stud
Mm-hmm.
player who will be in the WNBA and represent
Mm-hmm.
UConn well, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. She's just part of the machine, you know.
And the WNBA doesn't blow up the way it does. I mean, the WNBA can probably thank Lisa Bluder and Jan Jensen and Kate Martin and those
Yeah.
Iowa teammates for letting Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark,
Is
and
Gino
then
gonna
now
let her
putting that league
shoot
on her back.
half court?
No,
Is Gino gonna let
no,
her
I don't
shoot
believe he
half
will.
court? Right?
No, I don't believe he will, because I believe he even went out and basically said we don't allow our kids to shoot that much. You know,
Right. So,
you also got your ass kicked by him.
right. Yeah, no, of course not. I think it was just a perfect storm. You've got a Iowa Hawkeye team that yeah, they've been good. I mean, they've been in the tournament.
Yeah,
You know,
we're no
they've
Denny.
been a solid
We've known it for a
program.
while that they've been pretty good.
Right. Um, well, because they had I always forget her name. She ended up going to Rutgers, coach.
You see Vivian Stringer.
Yeah, Vivian Stringer. So you had Vivian Stringer. She brought the Hawkeye women's team, just like George Raveling and all those guys, brought it around. So Iowa was a good team, a good
Mm-hmm.
program,
You had
but I
Megan
think,
Gustafson there right before Clark got there.
yeah, yeah, she was talked about a lot, and then
You had a guard right before that who was the All Big Ten Player of the Year, who was
yeah,
good.
and then you got this. I think what helped was she's shooting these shots, these half court shots, and you got people like, as much as I hate the guy, you know, on the court, off the court, I think he's a good guy, charity wise, is LeBron James. But you got LeBron
Yeah.
James out there commenting about her, and then you've got these NBA guys, rallying around her and talking about her and how she's great, and now she's got to go up against the teams in South Carolina, LSU, with Angel Reese and all that. So Iowa made her as much as she made Iowa, and
Yeah,
I don't think she would have
absolutely.
had that as a player in the Yukon system. So,
No, no, I agree.
but
Or
that's
South
my
Carolina
extent
or
of
wherever.
that's my extent of women's basketball, because I don't follow it. I don't watch it. The only time I really watched it, I watched a little bit of it when Vivian Stringer had some good teams back then, just because I was a big men's basketball fan and I thought she was good. But um, yeah, I only watched. I'm one of those fair weather fans. When Caitlin was playing, we were down in Nashville during the NCAA tournament and sat at a couple bars down there, watched her play. But I don't follow her. I don't follow the WNBA. Only the splash stories that come across my feed. I'll read about them. And but yeah, you're the guy to go to on this podcast for that, because I don't pay attention.
Um, so we're getting close to this hour mark. We got a couple more things to talk about. But what is um what, we're both Cubs fans. We know kind of what's going on. The Cubs season ended a week
Mhm.
ago. Is there any chance? I don't think there's any chance. And honestly, I don't really care that if the Cubs sign Kyle Tucker.
I don't care at this point. I don't think Kyle wants to even be a Cub.
No. At the end of the season, he said, "Well, I might sign, I might not. If
Yeah.
not, I've been enjoy playing with everybody." I thought that was a piece of shit answer.
That was just get me the hell out of here answer. Now take that to the Cody Bellinger exit interview before last season, or at the end of the 2024 season,
Mm-hmm.
raved about the Cubs.
Yep.
Loves the
Yep.
Cubs.
He didn't want to go.
Honestly, you could sign him. You could bring
He's an
him
every other
back.
year kind of guy right now.
He is, but
And
he can play
this
a
will be his bad year.
lot. He can play a lot of positions, in which will allow
Yep.
you to play Owen Casey too.
Well,
You know,
here's what if you gave me the check to do it, here's what I'm doing. I'm trading Ian Happ. Our boy Denny would like that. I'm
Hap
trading Ian
staying.
Happ. I'm putting Saya in left field. I'm putting Casey in right field. I'm signing Kyle Schwarber to be the DH. Moises is gonna get some time behind the plate catching. And I'm signing Dylan Cease.
I think you definitely got to get Schwarber. I think Schwarber should be your number one target if I'm the Chicago
Yeah,
Cubs.
he's
I
gonna
don't
get you
care.
50 home runs.
Yeah. Yeah, I just need your power in your clutch, and he's clutch.
Yep.
Ian Happ won't be traded because he's got that full no trade clause, and he will not waive that thing. I do
Yeah, I don't
not
think he
see Ian
would. That's
Happ
what I'm
waiving
trying
that.
to.
Yeah,
Then I think Saya
Seiya
will be
has no
traded.
trade too.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's got no trade.
He's got to quit
Uh,
giving out those no trades.
you're right, but Seiya might give it up if I bet you if they were like, hey, the Dodgers, he would do that, or West Coast,
And they
maybe
want you to play the
Mariners.
outfield. Here you're going to
Yeah,
DH. Out there because you got to
yeah.
get Casey in the lineup.
I could see Seiya waving it if it's the right fit. I see Ian Happ not waving it for anything.
Yeah.
So I think Happ will stay. I think you got to sign Schwarber. Yeah, you might need two pitchers because that Imanaga contract is awfully weird as well. And I don't think he's going to
See,
come
I think
back.
he's going to be gone. Hold on. Who's the other
So
pitcher? Who'd you say the other one's not coming back? The pitcher? Boyd will be back, right? It's not a
Boyd's
player
back.
option. Boyd's
Boyd's
back.
back.
Tyon's
Tyon's
back.
back. Of course, you'll have
Kate Horton's back.
Horton.
Yep.
You'll get Justin probably in June.
June or July. But his innings will be at a minimum.
Yeah.
I would think. Although he's going to want to go out because he's a free agent the year after that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I think at some point next year you're going to have Jackson Wiggins come up and make an impact, and maybe not to the extent of what Kate Horton did, but I think Jackson Wiggins is going to come up and make an impact.
I ain't gonna question it, but yeah, I mean it'll be interesting to see what the Cubs do. I'm just happy that I was gonna root for the Brewers, and then they put the L flag out there, and when the moment they put that, I was done. Then my mission was, and at the end of the day, the Cubs have won more playoff games this year than the Brewers did.
Yep, absolutely.
by one game.
Absolutely. Can you go back and look at it though and go, Council lost this by starting Boyd game one?
You know what? Consol's been getting ripped a lot this year, and I was part of ripping on him, but I actually thought he had a good playoffs.
I thought he did too,
managed
except
well.
for that right there. I thought he managed the bullpen well. I didn't get, and I said it beforehand.
I think that was a Jed problem. I think maybe I think either way it could have been an issue. I just think the Cubs, at the trade deadline, you didn't go after that starter. You didn't go after that, so, and then you had these injuries. The Horton injury is what killed it,
Yeah, that was killer.
If Horton would have been there, I think they beat Milwaukee.
But I think from a strategic standpoint, I don't understand starting Boyd game one. I don't get it on short rest. Starting him on short rest when you're going against Peralta, so there's a chance probably a better even chance you're going to lose anyways. Why not go bullpen game one, start Boyd game two on normal rest, and actually you would have got an extra day's rest because they took Sunday off, and then you had Tyon for game three, and then you would have had Boyd again for game five.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. But I don't think that's why the Cubs lost. I mean, the Cubs didn't hit very well against the Brewers.
Right. Tell you what, who didn't hit very well was the Brewers against the Dodgers. I'm
glad. Like, I'm glad that
Oh,
they
I
got their
was
ass
that was
beat.
fantastic. Me too.
I was rooting for the
I don't,
Dodgers.
and that's probably the only time I'll root for the Dodgers. I think what
Yeah,
the Dodgers
no,
have done, and it's not their fault. I think it's baseball's fault for allowing them. I don't care. Go sign every free agent you want to sign. That has no, that I have no problem with that whatsoever. Go sign everybody. I don't like the fact that they're able to defer their payments, and then that doesn't count against their tax threshold.
yeah.
Uh, and I think that is the part I don't think is right. I think that
Well,
money that you're paying Shohei in 20 years should count against your tax threshold right now.
yeah. Well, things are going to change here in the next year or two when they have that collective bargaining again. And I think there's going to be a strike this time because I think the owners gave up too much last time, and I think this time around they're going to be like, but it's going to
Yeah,
be stepped down. And I think maybe that's part of the reason why Ricketts is like, look, we're not making splashes here because in a
yeah,
year we're going to be, we could be in the cap, you
yep.
know.
Um,
So but no, I'm rooting for Mariners or the Blue Jays, whoever comes out of there. That's who I'm rooting for. You know, especially the
all
Mariners
right.
because they've never won. Well, Blue Jays haven't won either, but they've been to the World Series. So
What? All right, we're kind of getting near the 60-minute mark here. One of the things we talked about doing was doing a segment we call player set. You know, basically, what did you see over the last week? What that got either you something that pissed you off that you hate, or something that you think so much about that uh, that is like, oh man, I want, I want to pump their tires a little bit. So I've got a couple things I've been thinking about. I might do one of each this week since it's the first one. Uh, but uh, but it could be local, it can be away, it can be anything. And kind of one of the things we've talked about throughout this whole process when me and Corey were starting here is, you know, new businesses we want to spotlight on here at times. We'll go see them, or we've had a good a good thing happen at a local restaurant that we've been to, or something along those lines. Like me and Lynn have kind of not fallen in love with, but rediscovered that Mickey's downtown, that Mickey's pub. We've been there a couple times here recently.
hmm
Uh, good, good, good happy hour specials. Wednesday nights have 5.99 burger baskets, and they aren't chimping on their burgers. They're huge hamburgers and a good portion of fries. Uh, Great area to sit outside at. Well, you know that we saw you down there. Hell, you can go down there and play pickleball. Um, so just some stuff like that we're looking at in the future for some stuff that we like, or it could be your play this week. Something like that. I know Corey loves his Mexican food.
oh, I love man Los Potales, man. That's my place right up there on
That's your jam right there.
Kimberly. Yeah, always. That's we usually try to go out to eat like every Friday, although we haven't the last 3 weeks. But that's kind of our default. Like if we all can't decide what we're gonna do, that's our default. Like we're just gonna go there type of thing. Yeah, if you're looking for a good Mexican restaurant, I've always gone there like that. I think
There's a
my
place called
good
Los. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I think one of my goods here locally they're finally fixing third and fourth streets. They are blacktopping, I think, from the West End all the way to River Drive. The bad part about it is they're turning those into two ways. Um, but I'm finally liking that. I think my shocks and everything on my vehicles are appreciative of that. Um, I do have two bads though.
Go ahead.
I do have two bads. I gotta give you NFL referees the last 2 weeks
Oh,
watching the Bears
trash,
game. It's just been horrible. And I think the
trash.
NFL needs to start hiring full time. This is your full time job.
Hmm.
I don't need the guy who invests money and runs people's 401ks or our lawyers and then on Sunday go out and become a ref and just do stupid shit. I want full time NFL refs. Your billions of dollars are coming into the NFL. You can afford full time refs and a whole
Absolutely.
program and a whole program of it, you know.
Yeah.
Um, And then, of course, the other bad, I gotta be a little political here is, come on, man. No kings? What's this protest about? What are you really what are you really changing? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, it's cool you guys got together. It's good to protest. I'm all for protesting, man. Have fun, have at it, but man, it cracks me up. What'd you really accomplish? At the end of the day, nothing changed. The only thing that changed is Bears won another game. That's all I care
Wouldn't you
about.
say,
But
but wouldn't you say that most protests in that way? Nothing changing?
all protests are that way. All protests, they don't change nothing.
No.
Zero zilch. But when you're on my feed constantly and I'm sitting there, I'm gonna troll you. So just letting everybody know out there, I will troll you. But I don't understand the protest, and it just really didn't change anything. But
Um,
other than that, yeah, kudos to Davenport getting these streets, Third and Fourth Street, taken care of.
you know what's funny is I had a couple things I was thinking about. My sit when I'm putting on the bench is Corey. We lost you again. When I'm putting
No,
on the
something
bench.
popped up and said if it commented about me thumbs upping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just
You know
popped
what I'm
up.
wondering is your TV had it, might had it. I wonder if somebody's gonna give us gruff for having NFL on in the background.
Oh, well, red zone. It's awesome. Subscribe
Mine
to
was
it.
that one. Mine was had it on too. So I was thinking about that as I'm seeing it. But the funny part is my what I'm sitting on the bench is every gosh darn fall, the city of Davenport puts every road under construction, and I'm tired of it. How about we spread this out? Can we do some stuff in late spring? Can we do some stuff in summer? I don't know why they do it in the fall, but it's like it's in the fall every year. And there's times where I remember going from my house over by West High School to Sancho's, and I hit just going west to east. I hit several different detours of roads closed because they're under construction. We don't have to do everything at once. Pick a street, pick a couple streets even, but it doesn't have to be half the damn city under construction all at one time. How about you just let us get from east to west without having every road closed?
Makes sense to me.
Oh my god! I'll leave my other play. I'm gonna bench myself. I was up in Iowa City on Friday. Met our buddy Ron. We stayed up there and watched the Iowa softball team play. Bob was up there too. Watched the Iowa softball team play DMAC. Um, and Bob had a few players from betting up there. So we watched that, and then Ron and I stayed up there. I stayed at the American uh, up on the north part of town in Coralville. And so Ron and I went to eat then, and then went to the B Dubs right there. Anyway, next morning I got up, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get home. I'm gonna stop and get something to eat. I screwed that up, just getting something to eat in more ways than you can think of. Screwing something simple up. Right across from the hotel is a come and go. I was like, no, I think I want like a sausage biscuit or something like that. So instead of taking the interstate, I
So
went
you
down
want
that
hold
main
on.
drag.
You were gonna get a sausage biscuit at the come and go?
No, no, no. That's why I didn't go to come and go because I
Oh,
wanted like
okay.
a sausage biscuit or something. So I ended up then going down the main drag there in Coralville. Okay, I can turn up by where like that new landing is and stuff like there might have been a McDonald's, but I think it actually might have been tore down too. I wasn't 100% sure. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go through downtown, head to Highway 6. And I think there's a McDonald's right there where you get on Highway 6. And I'll just take one of the other exits out of town. No McDonald's. Didn't see any fast food, no nothing that I could just stop and get a quick sausage biscuit. So I'm like, okay, I think there's one in West Liberty. I think there's a McDonald's at the West Liberty exit. So I head back on was it one, take it back to the interstate. Get through Iowa City off of Highway 6. I'm 15 miles from West Liberty then at that point. No, I go take it back to the interstate, go, and then take the interstate to the West Liberty exit. Guess what? No, they didn't have a McDonald's there anymore, or they never did. Maybe, I don't know. So then I go back to the north, and okay, there's a Casey's in West Liberty. I'm gonna stop at Casey's and I'll just get something there. Nope, didn't have that Casey's there anymore that I remembered being there. So I just went 30 miles when I could have gone 15 miles to get to the same exact spot. So then I go down through, I go in through Alyssa, get to Wilton. They got roads closed in Wilton. It was a freaking disaster. Uh, Finally, I found a Casey's in Durant that I stopped and got a chocolate long john. It took me an hour and 40 minutes for something that should have taken me 45 minutes. It was
In
a
the meantime,
disaster.
it would have been quicker to just stop at McDonald's on West Locust Street.
Absolutely. Not even a question. It was the most, usually I'm pretty good with things as far as travel. It was the most bonehead thing I could have done. And I was starving by the time I got here. It was ridiculous. Uh, so now I know, don't do that shit anymore.
Yeah, just
I
go
should
home.
just stop at come and go. I should just stop
Right,
at come and go,
right.
you know? So, all right. So, anything else you want to talk about, Corey?
I just have one last thing. Greatest
Okay.
guitar player of all time. One of
Uh,
my childhood favorites, Ace Frehley. He's
Rest in
gone.
peace. That was my
Yeah,
brother's favorite.
you know, as you know, I'm a huge Kiss
Hmm.
guy, big time Kiss fan. So yeah, that definitely hit close.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you
That
know,
was a tough one.
childhood slowly disappearing. But yeah,
Yeah.
good old Ace,
Um,
good dude, great guitar
yeah.
player.
Shock Me and New York Groove. That was my brother's favorites.
Yep,
Um,
yeah, shock me, classic.
so we'll put this out either probably Tuesday or Wednesday. Then by the time this gets out, we've got a couple of interviews. I don't want to say too much yet, but we got a couple of interviews that are probably going to be some one-off interviews with some people, some local people. Which really, that's kind of one of the things we're looking at. Like we said before, we're gonna spotlight a few things where there's probably some government things we're gonna look at and interview some people and highlight some things that we like and some things that we don't like. We're not going to be shy about telling people some things that we don't like. Um, so anyway, that's this is episode 1. Um, we'll again. Well, I think we'll bring on some guests too. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Dan will want to talk some Iowa women's basketball. We're going to add some gambling aspects to it. Me and Corey will start like doing a little parlay thing that we'll add to it. I think Eric wants to come on and talk some NBA at some point. Uh,
Yeah, I think we're going to get our social media stuff going too. So you
yep.
might want to be able to check us out. Hopefully down the line on TikTok, X, stuff like that. You'll see different content. You might see Mike on there solo, myself on there solo, just bringing some random stuff up. And yeah, this is going to be a free flowing podcast. Bear with us. You know, we'll get into a rhythm. Mike and I have known each other for years. We have the same interests um, for the most part. So it'll be good.
All right. We will talk again. Well, you and I will meet before then, but we'll see everybody next week.
See ya.